Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another live on Friday at 12:30 PM video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can start your career in real estate. And with me, I have Trisha Nance. She's our assistant team leader over here at Keller Williams. How are you today?
I am fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. And so, Trish, what I wanted to do today, I wanted to explain the pathway for people that either want to build their career as a real estate agent, or if they want to do it part-time, or if they have any other needs. I'm quite sure we have other opportunities in real estate, at our office that we can share. And so what I want to get into is a few questions that probably most people have that are thinking about making the journey over. They probably want to know what it's going to take and things of that nature. And so, Trish, one of the questions that most people have is, what are the first steps? I know that's probably everybody's first question.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, reach out to us is the first answer, but really and truly, I would say, make sure you understand what a real estate career is. A lot of people watch HGTV and they have, their idea of, ooh, that's so fun. I get to go see all these beautiful homes and what they do there. And they don't see the background. They don't get to see the negotiations and the contracts and the nitty gritty of what real estate is and the fact that it's a business. So you are starting your own small business as a real estate agent. And so really making sure that, you're kind of doing a little bit more of your research into what real estate is. While you do get to see some beautiful homes, that's not all that it is. And that's a smaller part of the job than, what is actually portrayed. So I think first and foremost, making sure you really understand what a career in real estate looks like. We have several opportunities for people to pick people's brains. But just do your research. And then from there, it's licensing and those steps there. But for sure, make sure you understand what a career in real estate actually is.
So we just not going to show 3 houses and you pick one like on HGTV?
Right? Yeah, that'd be really awesome.
if only worked that way, huh?
Right.
So, how do people? Well, I guess how do someone that's like looking to get involved? What steps do they need to take to get their license in Minnesota?
For sure. So obviously every state has their own requirements. And so for Minnesota, to get your real estate license, you have to take 3 30-hour courses, and then you have to pass a state and a national exam. Now, the national exam does not get you licensed all over. It is just part of the requirements. So that is definitely something sometimes people ask. So it's just part of the requirements to get your license. And again, it's 3 30-hour courses and a state national exam. So that's the licensing part. Because you're also starting a business, you also want to make sure you have the financial piece set up as well. There will be business expenses to be expected once you're licensed. So making sure you're prepared and have money saved so that you can really jump in headfirst into this career as well.
Yeah, no, you made a good point there because it is a business, and I think when I got my license, I guess it wasn't really explained that way, and so I didn't really understand that it is a business, and you do have to prepare for this. It's not just something that you just want to just start willy-nilly, and so I went to Kaplan. I know Kaplan is not there no more. Do people actually go to school, or they do like a actual program to get themselves licensed?
For sure. So Kaplan still exists. It's just now all online. So
Okay.
The only in-person real estate school is Minnesota Real Estate School in Roseville. So they offer in-person classes still. You can go during the week. You can go on weekends. They're pretty flexible in that. So they are all in person. And then there's 3 online schools that you can utilize. Kaplan, CE Shop, and Colibri are now the 3 online ones. So it really, none of them are better than the other. It just is, how does somebody learn best? what do you have the time for? Because if you don't have time to go in person, online sometimes can be easier. But then it also is going to be how motivated are you? Because online also means that you have to be the one showing up and you have to make sure you're logging in. And so again, it all is going to depend on your learning style on which one's going to be best. There are some schools that have programs too, like St. Cloud State has a real estate program. St. Thomas has a real estate program. So you can go to college and do the real estate programs as well if you want to. But otherwise, those 4 options are pretty much your main ones here in Minnesota.
Right. And so when you're saying that, I mean, obviously we know that there's cost involved, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if going to the actual college or going to the programs is going to cost a little bit more or less per se. But I know that, going to school has this cost, but you got some other things that cost too. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So yes, obviously the first cost is going to be licensing. And then once you are licensed, again, you're starting a business. So there's expenses that go with that.
Right.
There's some overhead, just like anybody starting a business. But for real estate specifically, once you're a real estate agent, you're part of an association as well. And the association provides, a lot of resources for you. And then you also get your MLS access, where that's where the homes are. That's where when your buyers want to see things, that's where you're going to have access to all of the homes that are listed. And so there's fees to maintain that. There's going to be a yearly fee that you pay for the association, and then a quarterly fee for MLS. And then there's a one-time membership fee. And they're all due up front at first. And then after that, you'll pay them yearly and quarterly. So you want to make sure you're prepared for that upfront cost, because it's about $1,000 for just the association and the MLS and the one-time membership fee to pay that. And then there's, once you are licensed, you're going to have CE. So you have to have continuing education. You have to renew your license every 2 years. And so you have to have basically 15 hours every year that you have to do continuing ed. We do have some programs where we can help with the cost of the actual continuing education, but you do have to pay then for your license renewal. And that's about $80, give or take. And I think it's maybe 90 now, but every 2 years. So you have to make sure you're maintaining that. And then you're owning your own business. So a lot of the costs for marketing and driving and all of that is also going to be something that you want to make sure that you're prepared for, and that you have some funds set aside to promote your business and to promote the housing. And obviously social media is a huge piece that you can do a lot of that without cost, and a really important one to really get yourself out there. But there may be some things that you want to add to. So then you want to make sure you have the funds for that as well.
Right. So, I mean, me just playing devil's advocate here, what would you think a good starting price should be?
We always encourage people to have about $2,000 saved to get their business up and running. And if you really think about that, like, I know off the top of people's heads, they're like, oh my gosh, $2,000. But like, if you were to start any other business, like or just think about like your cell phone bill or your monthly subscriptions to Netflix or HBO, and you add all that up, that's about that same amount of money. So if you just start putting away, a couple bucks each month or whatnot to get yourself ready, it's actually like a super low overhead. Real estate is one of the lowest overheads for small businesses to get started, and your potential for growth and wealth building is unmatched. Like, you can do as much as you want or as little as you want. You get to decide that, and it actually has a pretty minimal overhead for getting started.
Right. And so, like, let's say for the folks out there, let's just backtrack this one step to, when we talked about like the schooling.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have a college degree to get involved, right?
Correct. Nope. You don't even technically have to have a high school degree, even though I don't encourage that. Finish high school. But no, you do not need to have a college degree to get licensed. You have to be 18.
So you just have to be basically over 18 years old, or 18 and over.
Correct.
Okay, so,
yep.
And so some of the things that people wonder is, what type of skills do you need to have to be able to make something like this work out for them?
Yeah.
What would you say that'd be?
For sure. I mean, I think the biggest one is just care. Like you gotta show that you care. Don't be money hungry, care about the people you're working with. And, there's people that are introverted that are really successful. There's people that are extroverted that are really successful. So it's not really personality type. It's just more like, do you show up and do you show that you care about the people you're working with? And are you going to take the time to really make sure you're answering their questions and that you're educating yourself and that you're really truly the expert? They're about to make one of their largest financial decisions of their life more often than not. And so you have to make sure that you've really educated yourself. You're constantly, making sure you're up with the market and what's going on. And then that, when they have questions and when they need things, that you're willing to go above and beyond to go do that for them. And the more that you can put that heart and passion into serving your clients, the more too that you get referrals and you get other people to be like, oh my gosh, they were fantastic. And so then your business just grows organically because you're just showing up, caring about the people you're working with. Yes, the money is fantastic, but if that's your sole focus, people can usually see through that. And so if you can come from contribution, you can really show your heart. That's what people really care about. They don't care how much you know until you show them how much you care. And so that is what's really there. And then two, I think, again, being education-based and learning-based, constantly wanting to better yourself, learn more, learn from people who have done this. Don't reinvent the wheel all the time, take what people have already done that has been working, but then make it your own and then keep doing it. And then at the end of the day, you got to get out of your comfort zone. So as much as, even the introverted people can get out of their comfort zones a little bit and go and talk to people, it's not easy. Trust me. That's why I sit in the background here and do the paperwork. But it is definitely, if you can do it and you can kind of get yourself to grow a little bit more, that also obviously is going to help. I mean, you got to talk to people. That this is a people business. And if you can't get out and have conversations, then that also is, you're not going to be able to grow your business either.
Right. It's funny you said that because a lot of times you think that, the most popular people not often make the most amount of money because a lot of the introverts, they have a big business too, surprisingly.
Right.
You don't have to be the most vocal person.
Right.
Tris, I had another question I'm trying to think of. I was going to ask you. You had said something, once a person gets started, I think the biggest fear for people, Tris, is when they get into a business like this, that they want to feel like they don't have nobody to help them. And I know that, here at, KW, we have a lot of culture and a lot of training and stuff like that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, 100%. And that is definitely a huge fear. You go through the real estate classes and you don't actually learn anything. Like you use about 20% of what you just learned there ever again in your real estate career. And, again, you're helping somebody with this large transaction, you're using legal documents, everything that's being signed, you have to be very careful. And so, so you really want to make sure that, you're really aligning yourself with the people that are going to walk you through all of this. And so we have an awesome coach at our office. Michelle is fantastic. Your first 10 transactions, you are with her. She's walking you through. You have questions. She's the one that's answering them. You're ready to write out contracts. She's going with you to go by, write them out line by line. She's absolutely fantastic. And then she's running different trainings every single week to really make sure that you understand the systems. There are so many systems that you can use, and it can be very overwhelming. And so how do you break those down? Take them apart a little bit, make sure that you're getting the most out of all of them so that you can really help your clients. And so she's going to really help break all of those down, make sure that, you know exactly what to do when you do have a client and where to go and how to fill all of that out. And so she's just kind of really by your side. And if you need someone to really hold your hand, that's what she'll do. If you just needed a little bit of guidance, again, you can utilize that coaching program to what you need the most of. And then with that, there's also an online portion of the coaching program as well, which again gives you more into, the deeper dive of the systems and the tools and the resources that you're using as a real estate agent. And if if you use that online system and compare that with coaching, and you show up and you do the activities and you set goals for yourself, your trajectory for being successful is going to be a lot higher than if you try to do this alone. Because while, yes, you're growing your own business and we want you to get your name out there, nobody succeeds in this business alone. And having people by your side, knowing that if you don't know an answer, you know you have people that you can call, is such a huge piece, so that you don't have to try to grow and do all of this by yourself. And you have that support and those resources.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that, you definitely touched on the coaching aspect of it, because, when they get into the business, obviously they don't know what they're doing. And so we have somebody that can be able to guide them
Mm-hmm.
step by step. But then also too, Trish, is that, what about, we got all of this, besides the productivity coach, we also have all this training,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that that they can also attend to be able to, obviously build their confidence in certain areas. We have a tech guy, we have all these other people. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, 100%. Like, yes, coaching is fantastic and that's kind of your first step. But like, we have one of like the hands down best brokers in our office, and he teaches every week on the forms. He goes line by line, tells you exactly what's in them, tells you exactly what they mean. So that way, when you're sitting in front of a client and you're going through that, you actually know what you're explaining to them and they know exactly what they're signing. We have top agents in our office who are teaching classes, teaching their success stories, teaching what they did that worked and didn't work. And so you get to learn from people who are already building successful businesses. You can shadow them. You can go on just kind of learn to see what they do. And then, yes, our tech director is absolutely phenomenal. So again, there's a lot of systems that you can get into, and he will really help break them down, help you utilize them, but then also just really making sure that like you're not paying for something you don't need. What do we already offer? Kind of just making sure that you're utilizing the systems that are already here and that you know how to use them. And so he's really awesome. He's also just great. Like if you have your phone is broken or your computer, like he's going to be the one, he can fix it. But besides that, like just really making sure that you are getting the most out of the resources available and that you really know how to use them to really enhance your business, and that you're doing it to the best of your ability. So if you have like questions or concerns, we more often than not have the people that are going to be there to be by your side to answer your questions. Between our top agents we have accountability groups, we have masterminds. So constantly having conversations too with people that are in the same position as you. Like if you're just getting started, you get in a group with people who also are, so you guys can share what's working for you, what's not. So just at every level of your business, there's accountability groups. There's people that will keep pushing you to that next level, keep helping you grow your business. And again, you get to decide if you want a really big business or if you want to keep it smaller. That's totally up to you. But if you do want to grow, then we have those folks that at every level will keep you on track, keep you growing, learning more, so that you can make this business what you want and get out of it what you want.
Absolutely. And I know obviously for me, being in this office, I would say that for the people that's listening, that, everybody's, a door, one door away. You can go knock on them and ask any type of question that you want. They'd be, willing to tell you everything that they know and what they do. And, it's not like it's some type of weird competition that people don't want to talk
Right.
to you at all. I've never felt that being there. So I've been there for, man, was it 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah.
Man, it's good. Well, I was getting a long time now. And so I never felt that way. So I know for sure, for the newbies that's coming in, they got somebody that not only can hold their hand, but if you wanted to ask one of the big dogs a question, they're here to help too.
Yeah, 100%. And piggyback on that, like I used to work in a career where I worked for people who made some good money, and to walk down, like when I came to Keller Williams, and I'm literally walking down the hallway with people who make $1 million, and you would never know that. Like, they aren't out here to tell you, oh, I'm so great, I'm so wonderful. It's like they're just super laid back. They want everyone to be successful. They want, like, they're competitive in like a fun way, but not in like, yeah, let me hide something from you. Like, they're like, no, hey, like, they've all been sitting in the same seat as someone just getting started. They know what it feels like, and they want to be that resource. They want to be helpful. And so, yeah, it's just a super amazing culture. And to see these people who, yeah, can be intimidating because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not at that level. And that doesn't matter. Like, they are like, here, let me help you break it down. Let me give you it step by step. Like, they're going to show you a pathway, and then you can decide if like, and then you just make it yours, or you can decide like what you want to do with that. But yeah, I mean, everyone here is just willing to, they want to see everyone be successful, and it's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. And so, some of the last questions, Trish, is, what happens for the people that's out here that's trying to have a dual career, where they probably just want to be, making a little bit of money on the weekend, and they got Monday through Friday 9 to 5, and they just say, hey, listen, I wouldn't mind doing something like this on the weekend, a couple of days. Do we have something for that?
Sure. So that comes with dual career can have its own challenges. And yes, we do have trainings. We do an evening training every week. So that way, if you do have a job during the day, you can still meet with your coach. You're still part of all of that. And then you can go to this training so that you can still learn all of the systems and everything that you need to grow your business. I will say that doing real estate part-time is going to have its own challenges. And so if you're not planning on ever leaving that full-time job and you just wanted some extra funds, really making sure that you're still taking the time to work on your business, find those clients. Like, there's still going to be some things you need to do that, are going to make you successful or even get you a deal. Like, it can be a very expensive hobby if that's something that you go into. But if you like actually want to do something with it, then, it can work. We've had a number of people that are dual career. If it's something that you just want to start out part-time, but you eventually want to make real estate your full-time job, also doable. And you're the only one that kind of gets to determine when that happens. But the one thing that I've heard from multiple people that went from having the two careers to just real estate full-time is set a deadline. You got to give yourself a deadline. Tell yourself, I only want to do this for 6 months or for a year or 3 months, whatever that looks like, because otherwise you're going to stay at that other job. So if you give yourself a deadline, it pushes you to work harder, to really make sure that you are doing the work. And then also make sure that financially you have a number in your head. Like, I have to make this much money in real estate in order for me to feel comfortable quitting this job and jumping into real estate full time. So if that is the path that you want to go, there's also a lot of people and resources that can help get you there. But those two things, if you can have a deadline and then also make sure that financially you're secure, that can help you get into real estate full time. But if it's not something you want to do, you just want to stay part time, that's also doable. There's just going to be some different caveats that you just want to be aware of. And you're still paying the fees and you're still doing that. So just making sure that you're still doing the business so that you can make some money off of it also.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess the question that they're going to have to ask themselves is how far they want to go with it.
Right.
Kind of what I'm hearing you say, because if they want to just do it as a part-time job, it can definitely get expensive if you're not really putting efforts in, because you
Right.
still got to pay for the same level of stuff that the full-time people have to pay for.
Exactly.
And so if they're getting in with the plan of maybe doing a career change, it'd definitely be worth it.
100%.
Trish, do you have anything that you want to add? Because, for these people that's listening, they probably going to want to know what the next steps are. How can I get, where do we go to take the test, to take the courses, do we need to come into the office? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, if you want to get licensed, I mean, the nice thing about, our office in particular, we do offer a scholarship, so we can pay for your licensing courses. It's an online program, so you don't have to go in person. It's not connected. We partner with the school, but it's not a Keller Williams based school. We have nothing to do with the actual courses themselves. We just provide the financial piece. But that is definitely something that we offer. But either way, do some research. If you decide you want to do it online or in person, again, it's those 3 30-hour courses, and you have to pass a state and a national exam. One thing people don't really realize is that after course 1, you can take your state and national exam. You don't have to wait to finish all 3 courses before you can get those 2 tests out of the way. You have to finish all 3 to have your application submitted and get licensed, but you only have to finish course 1 and have your certificate to go and take your state and national. So that's, I mean, pretty much really just don't stop being scared, right? If this is something that you've always wanted to do, just go do it. Because even if you get through schooling and you decide, you know what, maybe I don't want to do this, maybe this isn't for me, that's okay. Like, there's no shame in that. Just so many people sit back and they don't go after their goals and their dreams. But if, think about what this could do for like your family or your life. If you're able to have unlimited growth and wealth potential in a career in real estate, like, that can fund so many pieces of your life. And so if you're ready to make your dreams come true and start building that, it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely going to be worth it. And, all you got to do is reach out and, if you want to take advantage of our program, we would certainly love to help you. Otherwise, do your research, see what school works best for you, and just take that first step, get that license. And then from there, we'll keep helping you and getting you into this career and helping you grow.
Trish, I got one last question.
Yeah, for sure.
It just dawned on me. So we talked about obviously the making money on the real estate side, but can you also speak to, because being at Keller Williams, we also have profit share, and a lot of times people can, if they don't have let's say they don't have the time to show a bunch of houses and do all that type of stuff. We do have a lot of other things that people can do, like, giving referrals out. And then our company also have profit share to be able to give back. Our office have profit share to be able to give back. Can you speak to those things?
Yeah, for sure. So, so as a licensed real estate agent, if you so we always tell people, when you're thinking of your database, don't just think of Minnesota, don't just think of one area, because you can, if people in Colorado, Texas, California, and you get them connected with a good real estate agent and they want to move, you just get them connected with somebody and they do the work, and then you can still profit off of that. So I know for myself, because I work in the office, that's what I've been able to do. And I've gotten to have, a couple of referrals, and because I'm licensed, I get to make some money off of that. And I'm not the one having to go show the houses and having to go do all of the work. I referred it to somebody else who's an expert, and then they take it from there. So again, even being licensed in Minnesota, if you're dealing in the Twin Cities and you want someone that wants to go look at a property in Ely or Duluth, or, we have people licensed up there. So instead of trying to drive back and forth or not really know the area, you find people that are the experts in that area. And then again, you can still profit off of that as a licensed real estate agent. So that's referral based. If you want, if you want to send out referrals, and then 2, that helps create that networking opportunity. So then if people up north have someone in the cities, then hopefully they'll reach out to you. And now you have just created that not only agent to agent relationship, so that you can get referrals, but now you have another client. So that can be super helpful. And then as far as profit share goes, it's another way to make some passive income at our office. If you join our office, you're going to name a sponsor, and that person is just the person that influenced you most to come to Keller Williams. And then as you get into production, which means that you're actually selling houses and you're getting a commission, part of that commission is going to come to the company and we make a profit. But what Keller Williams does is they give back about, I think now it's about 45% of our profits go back to the people that helped us grow. So every month, if the people that named you as you were their sponsor, if they're out there closing deals and making money, then you will get a piece of our profits. So it's not coming out of their commission check. It's coming out of the office profits. And then there's another just avenue for you to make passive income in that aspect. And then 2, if you're just getting started, sometimes larger agents may need a showing assistant or a runner, someone that can help them with some stuff. So if you just want to make a quick $50 or something like that, there's some other avenues that you can kind of play around with too. as you're getting started and you're starting to build your business. If you just want to make, a quick buck here and there may be some opportunities there as well.
Wow. So, there you have it. I feel like, not only, you can get your license, but you have an opportunity to get into profit share, and then you can possibly get into, referrals and referring, I guess, or being referred to. And so it's just a plethora of ways that people can get in and kind of find themselves a little niche, wherever that is.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Trish, I don't have any other questions. Unless you have anything else you want to add, I think we're pretty much done.
All right, perfect. I will say too, also getting into real estate, if you decide you want to be a real estate investor, if you want to own homes and rent them out and and get into that aspect, that's also a super amazing route to go as well. And as a licensed real estate agent, you get some other benefits with that too. So, and we have a whole mastermind people that will help you do that if that's something that a route you want to go into with real estate also. So lots of opportunities.
I was going to say that. And we also got commercial too.
Yes. Yep. Commercial as well. Which all you have to do is get your one license. And then the biggest piece for those is training. So especially with commercial, you want to be with the right people to help train you, because that's a whole different process. But you just need a real estate license. And then you can go into these different avenues. And it's just a matter of finding the right people to help train you and to make sure you know what you're doing.
And all right, guys. Well, perfect. I think definitely appreciate you, Trisha, for taking the time out to explain these things. And for those people that's listening, obviously y'all can shoot me a DM or even give me a call if y'all guys are looking to do this. And then I can introduce you to Trisha, and Trisha can hold your hand every step of the way and help you get your license and get hooked up with the productivity coaching and all the training and everything that we have to offer here at KW. And so with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all guys on the next week.
All right. Bye, Cedric.
Yep. See ya.